Hola, ¿cómo están?
Hello, everyone. I actually have a couple PSAs to start off with.
Oh, okay.
First
PSAs.
one, we are having an email episode next week, so please send your emails accordingly. We never remember to say it in the beginning of the episode, so that's the other
Yes.
one.
And like and comment and subscribe, please, right now. We might as well say it here.
Yeah,
Do it now. Leave a review. We love you for it.
please.
Continue with your days.
The second PSA, I think that you guys need to start representing yourselves better, and truly representing who you are. Stop catfishing people. Be who you are for your pride. If you are going to go on a date with somebody, look like how you look. That's really what I wanted to say. And I've already told Darius that I went on a very terrible date. I'm not going to get into it. That's another story time for another day. But I just have to say, he didn't.
Let us know if you want to hear the story time.
He didn't look how I thought he was going to look. He didn't look how I thought he was going to look at all. And the thing is that I think that's very interesting because I just don't know how that happens. And I don't know if people aren't aware of it because I feel like I have struggled definitely with like weight and different things like that. And sometimes I'm not always aware, but I'm aware when I see a picture. That's when it really hits me, is when I see a picture.
I think that we go through life and not I think that we're a product of our society, but I think that we go through life really calculated and very, how am I supposed to react to this? How are they supposed to react to this? What are they thinking? What am I thinking? This, like, trying to piece the world together and like be in everybody's minds. And I think that everyone else doesn't do that. And I think that we've noticed that as well.
Okay, I hate it.
I know you hate it, but it's just the truth. It's just the fact of the matter. People don't do that. And so when you're talking about people who have like pictures on their profile from 8 years ago that don't look like them now, they're like, okay, well, you said what happened?
What? Okay, so, I don't know, you guys. Don't do that. Make sure, ask your friends, do I look like this if you aren't sure? And if they say no, change your damn profile picture because why am I seeing you in high school and we're 24? Like, what is going on? I just know I went on a date and I thought that I was going with, I thought that I was going with Enrique Iglesias. It was actually Gabriel Iglesias. And I can't do it. And then I didn't tell you this, but so he was like asking me questions and he was like, because I was saying, oh, I used to live in River North. And I was like, it's just so expensive and this and that. And he was like, how'd you do that? Like, you and your roommate must have like had the most high paying jobs or whatever. And I was like, well, no, not really. He was like, what? Like, you were living with a sugar daddy or something? And I said, I wish, no. And then he was like, well, then how'd you get the money? Huh? And you know, like, well, and this is really interesting because I don't know about you guys, but I'm such a nervous Nelly. And I will like be like, if I have a date, like I'll be watching gay dating advice, gay dating tips. What do I bring on a date? What do I do? Yes, I do. Cause I don't want to cause like you said in the beginning, see, I'm a self-aware person, but maybe I'm not. And I want to make sure that anything that I'm not self-aware about, I want to be self-aware. Right. Because sometimes you are saying things that you might think is okay, and you're doing something that you might think is okay, but you find out that's a big no-no. So I want to make sure something that I wouldn't normally talk about is not like crazy to say or offensive or weird.
Right.
And one of the main things I was talking about was don't talk about your fucking finances. Don't. And I was thinking in my head, he's breaking this rule. He's really breaking this rule.
Because he didn't do the research.
He didn't do the research at all. He didn't do anything at all. He jumped out of bed, he hopped on the train, and he got in front of me.
At LAX.
Literally, he hopped off the plane at LAX, and it's crazy. But then he was asking me like finances stuff, and I said, well, my roommate's mom, like, she and I was like stuttering like that, and he was like, what? So he pays for your stuff. He's rich. Like I said, no. I said, she does YouTube, and he was like,
what if he said, oh, I know her, B Loves Life? I would scream.
Well, that's what happened actually. And it was a lot, and I was very uncomfortable.
Are you serious?
Yes, and he said, what do you mean? She does YouTube. And then I said, like, she does YouTube, and then he was able to do YouTube from that. And then, like, that's, like, a lot of the way that we're paying for the things and stuff like that. And he said, What do you mean that she does YouTube? How can she do YouTube and make a career off of him? How many subscribers does he have? I said, I don't know, like 3 million. He said, beloved life. I said, what?
Beloved life is crazy.
He didn't even say that. He said something very, it wasn't even like, it was like something that I almost thought he was saying the wrong thing, but it definitely wasn't beloved. And I said, and I was going, he said, that is who it is, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it?
So
Isn't it?
weird.
And I said, it is. And I said, how'd you know that? And she said, oh my God. He said, I used to watch her all the time. I love her. I see her all the time on Twitter and this and that. But then I think something racist. I think something racist was happening a little bit. Because, correct me if I'm wrong.
It was another black mukbanger.
I think it was the one that types. Like, I think he was seeing reaction
memes. The one that she comes. Yes.
And because he was like, she ate an alligator. Did your mom ever eat alligator?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think she did.
Yeah, that's the other girl who ate it. I know.
That's what I was thinking in my head, but I was like, should I say this? Because that's kind of embarrassing.
That is crazy and embarrassing.
But racist and racial bias. But then I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. But he kept on talking about how that. Because at first he said like, and I see her like, and it was like a thing with Zuri, and I said, oh yeah, she did do a collab with Sky Jackson. And he said, no, like they say that this is Zuri when she's mad at Mrs. Kipling, and somehow that's also racist.
That definitely is racist. What?
That's also racial as well. He was actually doing a lot, and this guy was. This isn't. Never mind. I almost broke the fourth wall about another episode that we filmed, but he was Hispanic, and I was going to say something about the race relations that wasn't helping, but and it was like he was going like, yeah, that's what they said. And then I was thinking in my head, first of all, she just did not eat an alligator, but I did want to say, see you later, alligator. And he said, after a while, crocodile, because our date lasted.
After a long while.
He said, after a long while, crocodile, because our date lasted 8 hours of torture and craziness. And I just don't know you guys. And I just need you guys to represent yourself accurately. Type in gay dating tips. If you're straight, type in gay dating tips. I don't care. Look up the tips. See what's going on, because I need you guys
to figure out what not to do.
Literally. Because I need everybody to be as prepared as I am. Because I think that it garners a feeling of such disrespect from me when I notice. Because I think that just in general, maybe I am do a little much. Like I feel like maybe I am overthinking things because of my lack of expertise or whatever, and maybe I'm going like, okay, but I just feel like there were so many times where I was noticing the lack of attention and care he put into himself and put into the date that was turning me off more than his physicality was. And I think that don't be sloppy, don't be crazy, don't be messy,
don't be sorry for the party.
Literally, because he was also mind you, I had gotten a haircut for this man, and he was going, I have a haircut scheduled in like a week or two. Or
he had mustard on his shirt. No,
he did have mustard on his shirt. His shoes were untied. He looks a sloppy mess. And just know that my hand ended up in his pants, and I didn't want it to be there.
Also, it's not like I don't want them to think that is how he presented himself online. That's not at all how he looked. So he got there and saw all this, and it was not what he was.
It was not what he did not like. Oh my God! And I can't even explain this to Darius. Like I really should have been like, "Hey, let's take a picture together." But if I were to show you guys what you thought I was going with, you were going to be like, "Oh, like Malik's eating, like Malik's eating a little bit." And it turns out he wasn't. That's okay. Like, but he didn't represent him. It literally looked.
No, it's not okay. So I don't know what to say. It's not okay.
It was just like I just don't know. Like it was just really crazy, and I should have known because there were signs. Because some of his pictures were like him and Be Real, and I don't know when's the last time anybody used that app.
I don't know, years.
And COVID. I should have known. And he just. But why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I don't, and I think if I knew that my pictures were that old and I didn't look like that, I wouldn't be going on dates. Because I mean, I understand you don't want to take new pictures and this, and that. Your pictures are from, maybe they are from COVID and they're from a long time ago, and blah 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 blah. But then I'm not talking to someone saying, yeah, let's go on a date when I know I don't look like what they want me to look like because I only showed them pictures from 5 years ago. That would make me uncomfortable because the fact that he actually went on the date and was like, oh, he'll be fine that I don't look like this.
And he probably thought I was fine. But see, also we have not texted at all afterwards. So do you think? But now I'm gonna be mad. Why is he not texting me?
So did you not make it? Did you not let him know that you weren't into it
I feel
at
like
all?
At the very end, he could tell that something was up when we were swapping Taco Bell quesarito between our mouths, and I was like, "This is just a little too much for me."
That is gonna make
I think he honestly probably woke up embarrassed because I think because we had got drinks, you guys, and my philosophy. Sorry, I was thinking ahead of what I was going to say, and this sounds creepy, but I was going to say I always want them drunker than me, but I do, because I don't want to do a lot. I want them to always do a lot, so there's a little bit of a sense of I'm a little embarrassed, and he was doing a lot, and I wasn't. But I just don't think that I don't know. I just don't feel like the drinks work for me. But he was doing so much. He was spilling his drink. And this sounds like he was inebriated. He was actually more fine than I wish he would have, because then at once I could have sent him an Uber on his way. He was ready for more. He wanted to do this. He wanted to go here. He wanted to go there. And he was doing, did I tell you that he was with my straw?
He was doing what?
He you know how you're trying to be cute and you'll have a little thing and you'll be stirring a straw. Yes.
Uh-huh.
He took my glass and did that. I said, what? I said, that's my glass. What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're dirty.
But I think he did. I think it was an accident, though. I don't think he meant to pick up my glass. And I said, what are you doing with my cup?
Can I get a new glass? Can you guys give me a new glass?
And he said, oh, sorry. Then he said, oh, sorry. Let go of it so quickly. And he knocked over his glass. And I said, this is crazy. It was so much.
Oh, my God. I'd be pissed.
And okay. I just don't know, you guys. Let's talk about dating in 2025 and how I just don't think it's gonna work.
It isn't
for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons. But I was gonna say because you had reminded me, I don't really have an equivalent. It's kind of when you were talking about my mom, but I was when we were in Chicago, I ended up talking to this guy, and
for Beyonce, or you're saying when we lived there?
No. Oh, sorry. When we lived there. I ended up talking to this guy, and it was definitely not supposed to be anything other than a one-time thing. Okay, if you get my gist. But it ended up being more than that. I went to his house. He was still lived with his mom, but no one was at the house or anything, and we just ended up talking. For a long time. So we talked or whatever. We actually never ended up doing anything, but I talked to him. He was talking about how I don't know if you remember this, me bringing this up. You probably don't, but he was a native of Chicago. He had born and raised there. He said he knew everything around there. He basically showed me around Chicago and was showing me the places that used to be vacant lots and now that they're he was talking about basically gentrification, about how they brought places here and there, and how this used to be housing for people here and they tore it down or whatever, blah 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 blah. He lived on this weird. He lived in a really crazy place where it was he had a great view of the city, but he was saying the area he was in was for lower income people. And he was explaining to me the whole history of it and everything like that. Anyways, we never ended up doing anything. And I was like, oh, this is going to be cool because I assumed if I was going to stay in Chicago, he was going to just be a friend of mine, whatever, right? Because nothing ever ended up happening. So then, long story short, obviously, I only stayed there for literally 6 months, and then I was back in Ohio, really, right, for a period of time, helping my mom with the lives and stuff. And he would contact me, being oh, hey, let's hang out, whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm not in Chicago. Anyways, we stopped talking for a long time because I obviously wasn't there. And then he message me one time or call me or something when he was drunk. And he was like, oh my gosh, I was showing my friend you, which I don't know why he was doing that in the first place. And his friend recognized who I was. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's B-Love's son. And then she like explained to him who I was who my mom was, because he didn't know who my mom was. I don't bring that up, by the way. I don't know if people know this or not. I think a lot of people obviously watching this video and who watch my mom or whatever know who we are or whatever, but I don't ever bring up my mom's YouTube channel when I'm talking to somebody new. Because I know there are some people who probably do bring up things all the time like that, but whatever. Anyways, I don't ever talk about that. And so I just felt it was very weird after the vibe was very weird after that. And I feel like he contacted me more, he talked to me more. And then he was like, especially when he was drunk, he was saying weird things about like how, because I told you we never did anything. And he was like, oh, we should have, and this and that. Now all of a sudden after finding that out.
Oh, you think he switched up?
He definitely did switch up, 100%.
Interesting.
And then he wanted me to come over back to Chicago for his birthday or something. And I couldn't come. Anyways, my thing is not, it's very anticlimactic. Anyways, the point is that I just had to bring that up because there was another guy in Chicago talking about my mom, and I felt like I had a relation to it, but I don't talk to him anymore. But I just felt like it was very weird after that. The dynamic switched, and he seemed like he wanted to do more things or something. I don't know. I was fine with being his friend.
I don't think I would like that. Like, I don't. Oh, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, like, okay, so if you were in my position, like, well, obviously, like, I think you would obviously do the same thing. You wouldn't mention or say anything like, oh, my mom does YouTube or whatever. But then, like, I get really uncomfortable when I know that somebody does know who I am or my mom is. Because it's like almost like they have an advantage over you because they know you. They know you. They like are watching. They could have potentially watched thousands of hours of content. You don't know. Obviously, not they watch every single thing. That'd be crazy. But I'm saying, like, the fact that they even know who I am, or somebody will be like, on Grindr, like, Darius ? Immediately I'm stopping responding.
I saw something. Sorry, I could jump, but I was looking at your video, like, it was like exposing DL men to be love.
Oh yeah.
And somebody commented, and they said, Darius, when you were in Atlanta, I saw you on those dirty ass apps. I told you to get off, or I'm gonna tell your mom, and you got off.
That's not true.
And I was thinking he did not get off. First of all, second of all,
that's how I know it wasn't true.
Yeah, I said he did not get off, and they said so now, and they said something was really weird, and then somebody replied and said, "What the fuck?" And it's funny to me because why did they say that? Like, I don't know. That's weird.
I'm trying to think. The last time I was in Atlanta is when I was with you.
Yeah.
So I don't remember. I mean, I was on it.
You probably just left. Like, you probably just left Atlanta.
Right. But I'm saying I don't remember somebody saying, get off the app. Get off these apps.
Well, they said, I literally just looked at that before we got on, where somebody was saying, like, yeah, and you were there, and I told you I'm going to tell your mom and send screenshots to her. Or something like that.
They did not do that, and I would not care.
And then they said you got off immediately. And that's what happened, so I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, I'd be on the apps and I'd be on the apps. So leave me alone. But if you see me on the apps, you didn't.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So see, like, I don't think I could do it. I don't even want to. I'm not even going to even tell anybody, like, we do this podcast anymore after I'm traumatized from that thing. Like, and I can imagine, from that man. I wonder if you still watch. If you still watch, hit me up on Instagram for real. I wonder, like, that would. But also, I feel like that's so interesting. Whatever. See, that's so weird to me. Not weird, but, like, it would make me more uncomfortable in your position, where they literally do have so much content to watch of you. Like, I can't even do whatever 20 hours that we have. I can imagine that double. And then now also with my mom. And then there's, like, that's too much. I couldn't do any of that. And that's why I didn't want to tell that man about your mom. You said what?
Huh? I said that man the other day said, I want to kiss you. And he's probably been watching me since the man. The screenshot I sent you on my computer of that man's started. And he was like, I want my lips to touch yours or whatever. And I was thinking, like, he could have been watching me since I was 17. Like, we have no idea.
That's going to make me uncomfortable.
And that's
that
why
was a gym teacher, but, like, one that's like.
He was 60.
He was 60, and that's really scary. And that's so weird. Like, I just couldn't do it. And I just didn't, like, and that's why I didn't even want to tell that. That's why I was going, well, she, because I was trying to think of what I could even say. And I didn't even want to tell that man that your mom, it was 2 people removed, was doing
right,
YouTube.
He could have found you from
exactly.
our podcast.
And then he just proceeded to do so much and made me so uncomfortable because he's going, no, she said I still have it. I love her. Yes. He said, wow, this made my whole week. And that just made me uncomfortable.
And he was really talking about another black woman.
He was talking about another black woman.
I met her son's best friend. I met him.
And I swear that he almost said like, and then like the fact that he pronounced it wrong too. And I was going, that's interesting that he doesn't know that he probably was thinking of a whole different like other lady. What's the lady's name?
I don't know what her name is, but I know of her.
Because I was going, she did not eat an alligator.
I remember hearing about that a couple years ago.
Did your mom eat an alligator?
No, I don't think so.
remember seeing that other black lady eat the alligator.
My mom did not eat an alligator. She
Are you positive?
No. But I don't think that she likes crab and lobster and barely mussels. Like, I feel like she's very keen on cleaning.
Well, does the other lady eat seafood? Because he was mentioning seafood.
Everybody eats seafood now because it's like incredibly not now, but during its prime, everybody was eating seafood. So I'm assuming that she also did eat seafood too, because that's literally one of the main black mukbanger things is seafood.
Okay, why is that?
Because of, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm going to credit my mom, because I think that what happened was when she started doing mukbangs, she started doing mukbangs because this guy named Jasper Days used to do seafood boils, and then he passed away.
Is he black?
And she did yeah.
Okay.
And he did but this was before mukbangs popped off. And then he did but he was like one of the prominent ones at the time. So he ended up dying. Because I think something happened with the food, like got lodged in his throat or something. He was sleeping. I don't know what happened. But my mom did a tribute video to him, like doing seafood or whatever. And that was the first time I had ever seen it or whatever. I had seen Trisha Paytas maybe do a mukbang or two or whatever. Or like we had seen it and heard of it, but it wasn't like, as I'm talking about millions, and my mom was getting 5, 6, 7 million views on a video, and that was when she started doing seafood boil, and I had never seen people do that. But I think that obviously because the term it's a word that's already a thing. I can't remember if it's Korean. I think it is Korean.
I think it's Korean.
Yeah. I obviously, as an American thing, I think that seafood boils became one of the most prominent, most viewed type of mukbang. And then it just branched out into everything. But I do think that one of the people pioneering the seafood boils was my mom in the beginning. And I don't know why, but then all of a sudden became that.
Okay, well, seafood's gross. She's doing it sloppily? Oh.
That's the reason why, definitely, the people were watching, because she just didn't care about how she looked.
Okay, well, but I don't like seafood, and I don't like the boil. Let's do a seafood boil next episode.
You're crazy if you're doing it. I have to strategically plan it, because I know that's going to be a big thing for me. If I come back and do that, seafood is so nasty to me. Every time I smell it, it literally, my nose hairs, they curl like SpongeBob and they break like glass.
And like shellfish specifically is so crazy. Like, I just can't do I don't know. Critters. They are ancient critters. And I was seeing one, like they can just live with all their limbs completely gone. And I don't like that. And they'll grow back.
They're literally sea roaches. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. And they're like, once you find out about the history of, like, I don't know, animals and this and that, and the crustaceans and the fact that they have an exoskeleton and they're like,
and we're eating their big juice, and their meat like feels so gelatinous. Okay, I can't. Either way, all you guys need to know, it's so gelatinous, and that's why I can't do shrimp. Okay, but all I know, you guys, is I think that I am canceling dating for 2025 and 2026. And let me tell you why. Because one, I think that I saw a video once on TikTok, and it was this white man, and he lived in Chicago too. And he was straight. And he got a lot of hate for this video. I remember this very clearly, because he was like, dating. Well, I think the way he framed it, if we would have just framed him, a straight white man's always trying to do a lot. But I think he framed it as like, dating as a straight man is just terrible. And he should just frame it as dating is just terrible, because he was going like, I have to do all these things where like I have to take you out and I have to pay and I have to do all these things, and like it doesn't even, like, I'm doing all these things and not saying that I'm expecting something out of it, but it's like I'm at a net negative by the end of the day when you decide that you don't want to hit me up, which is completely your choice. But like, I'm giving him more leeway.
After you did all this work.
Yeah, after you did all this work. And I feel the same way, because I just think. And then, like, let's talk about it. How do we determine who pays? Does it have to be top and bottom? Because why are we doing these standards?
No.
I think that is. Yes, I think it is. I think that's how it works.
I think you probably feel that way. Well, okay, wait, let me first say this. I don't know. Okay, I'm not going on dates like that, so I can't really be like a person of authority to be like, this is how it really works in the gay community. I have no idea. Okay, but I think for me, every time I'm going out on a date, they paid for me, but maybe that's because
Okay, great. Every time
no,
I've
but
gone
I
on a
have
date,
offered
I've paid
every
for
time.
them. You
But I've
said what?
offered every single time. I've
Yeah,
offered
but
every
offering
time.
doesn't really matter.
Okay, but I know it's at the end of the day, but it's only happened twice, and they ended up paying for it. But I'm like pulling my card out, offering like, oh, let me do it, let me do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And
You pulled out a fake card, and that's what they're thinking. They're
it was
going,
a
put
real
that shit
card.
away. You
Okay,
pulled out
but
a
my
fake
thing is
card.
like with the guy with the straight guy in his situation, he's probably thinking because the girl's going, where's the bill at?
Yes, but then also, can you? I don't know. Like, this is why I'm saying that we need to change things up. We need to shake things up because one, I don't like that these heterosexual weird standards are in my gay relationship that I'm expected to pay
Oh, good luck.
because of some kind of top bottom discourse. Because I've paid every single time that I've done something, and I don't like that. And like, I
Well, I'm a
just
top two, so I don't know. You said what happened?
I, I think my thing cut out. I think my thing cut out. What'd you say?
You guys, first of all, everybody leave me alone. You guys don't know what I am. Actually, I
What
don't
is the
care.
problem with being a bottom?
There isn't, but I was obviously making a joke, and now it's like, oh well, you can never be a top.
I
Because
didn't say that. I
it
said
seems
that
like
I
it's
said that
silent
something
cloud.
must have happened with my Ethernet cable, and I must have misheard something. I think.
Anyways, but I'm trying to think. There's definitely several times where I have been in a situation. Oh, I'm lying. There's several situations where I've gone on a date, whatever, and I paid.
Yeah, but see,
Even
I
though
in my
don't really
head, I feel like you've told me that before, and I thought, why is he paying? And this has something to do with
really.
because I think that this has something to do with us being in the position that we're already in, and like I'm thinking he's only paying because of the fact that our lives are sad, and and that's why you're paying. But in a normal, like if our lives weren't sad, you wouldn't be paying. Because no, I think that they would just expect the other person to pay, and then they would pay. And I would never let like somebody else pay, but I for some reason think I'm expected to, and I don't know why.
Right. I don't know. I think for me, in my situations where I have paid, it's because I'm like, and I'm always putting myself, my dirty laundry out there. I think it's because it's going from something where we weren't going to have a date at first. It was probably like a one-time thing, a one-time night hookup or whatever. And then it ended up turning into me probably saying, oh, well, let's go do this or let's go do that. So then because I asked, I'm the one who's paying for it, if that makes sense. But I think that if I am going on an actual, oh, we're going on a date, I haven't really done that a lot. Where it's like, I'm texting someone and our sole purpose is for us to go on a date in XYZ place. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why.
Why?
I need to get out of my comfort zone in 2025. I have my own qualms. But the point is that I don't know. I think we should start going Dutch.
No, I don't like that because that makes
things. Let's split it in half. Let's tell them to split it in half, or give me your Venmo or whatever, and we will split it in half.
I think it should just be. I think that we should get rid of the whoever asks first, because then I'm like, then that's gonna make me start to think, damn, I'm always asking, they never ask me to do anything, and then that's gonna cause other problems. I think it should just be switch off, switch off, switch off. If we're going to get drinks, I get the first round, you get the second round. I get the third round, you get the fourth round.
Oh, you mean that night? But what if it's just a restaurant?
Even if it is a new thing the next day, I think that, or like a new date, I think it should still switch off. Like if it's like, okay, we went to the restaurant, I'm paying for this bill, and you just get me the next time. The next time we go here, you pay for the date.
No. That's how I feel like my agreements are. But what if you never end up having the next time, where this never happens?
Then I guess I don't know.
Not that I don't talk to.
But
these
you're
guys,
saying
like,
you say you get it the next time, and then they run.
No, not that they run. It just hasn't happened. Like some of the guys, like I still talk to, but we just haven't had a second date yet. And so then it's like, oh, I'm sure eventually I will do that, but it just hasn't happened yet. So then it's like, then they're still in the hole right now. Like, what if it doesn't happen? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just hasn't happened.
Well, you think they're supposed to Venmo you if it doesn't happen?
No. Well, then you're out of loss.
I just think you're out of luck. Like, But I also
Because
don't think. But then who pays first is. But I don't know. And then I was also, this was happening in my gay dating tips video because they were going, well, usually, and I was going, I'm not in any of whatever they're talking about. They were going, usually the younger, more submissive person is doesn't have to pay, and they get taken care of by the older, more dominant person. No, because you're older and maybe more submissive. So I don't know how it worked for you. But you're older and more submissive. And
no,
that's why I was
I'm
going,
younger.
why'd they say younger? That's weird.
I'm younger and just more, just really just
You're
soft.
not younger than
really
anybody I know, actually.
Don't leave me alone. I'm actually really young and prim and proper. I don't know why I thought about this, just popped in my mind. But is her name Amory? I don't know how to say her name. From when she said, "It's this one thing you got me tripping, you dig."
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I'm changing the subject, but did you see her try again?
On a tiny desk?
No. This is after.
No.
She tried again, and she was at a festival.
Oh my God.
We can go back to what we were talking about before. Sorry, this just popped in my mind. I have to say it before I forget it. And she was at a festival, and she, like, I guess she had taken some notes, I guess, because she saw that people were talking about her. That's always got to be sad that you can see what people have to say about you online. But she was at this thing, she was singing or whatever. It was sounding a hot mess. And she said, cut the music, cut the music, cut the music. She said, we're restarting. I need to go a cappella.
And that's going to make me uncomfortable.
Sounded so bad. And they said, girl, lower the key. I thought when she was like, okay, cut the music, I'm doing a cappella, I thought she was going to lower the key, because that was what people were saying, was like, lower it, lower it, lower it. And then she just didn't lower it. And the key was the same thing. And so she sounded crazy, and she tried to get audience interaction, but I don't think she could hear. She's a little tone deaf, I think. She couldn't hear what she sounds like.
A little tone deaf is crazy.
Because if she would have just lowered it a couple keys, she would have been so fine. But it's just too high for her. Anyways, let's go back to what we were talking about dating. I just wanted to.
Okay, but that is embarrassing, though. Sorry.
It is. After people had said lower the key, and
it's
she just
very. And then she started over, and the thing is really embarrassing.
Yes, and she just kept the same key, and it sounded bad.
It's so embarrassing. And she's didn't know it. Anyways, it's just one thing that has me tripping, and that's men, and I don't like them, and I hope they perish and burn.
Okay, so what year are we both going to be cuffed?
Both at the same time?
Yes. At what year will we both be cuffed?
I don't know, man. 2026.
Because the only cuffing... You said what happened?
2026. We're getting all our shit figured out now.
The only cuffing that I'm going to be is actually behind bars.
No,
in real handcuffs.
No. 2026. We're getting all of our stuff figured out now for 2026.
I'm trying to do that, and I'm making just but I'm going at the speed of a snail. It's just really, I don't know. I got to put myself out there more. I need to go on more dates and things like that. But I just don't know how to do that, what to do that with, or who to do that with, or how to this and that. You need
to look up your gay dating tips. I'm telling you.
And then who do you get that from? I need them to be black, because otherwise I'm not talking to it. I'm not listening.
Low-key, the black people do a lot. I don't like listening to them, because they go, I've been... Because they go, I've been in a relationship for the past 12 years. This is what you... And I'm going, bitch, you were on it when I was on Kick. I don't care what you have to say. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't... And I feel like every single video I see, they'll have been in a very, very, very long-term relationship when they're black, which is very interesting. Because I don't care what you're... I want somebody who dates, plural. Right. Not somebody who is dating the same person that they have been since I was 3. I don't care. And they go, so you need to listen to me because I've been in a committed relationship for 12 years. And
okay, but we're not talking about relationship advice.
Yeah.
Really. We're talking about dating advice.
Literally.
Like dating around.
And that's why I can't do them. Sorry. We need to make our own. Let's make our own series.
Okay, but we don't have any experience yet and tips and tricks. All you have right now is how not to get catfished.
Oh my God. Okay, that's
and you
important.
How to get catfished.
That is important. I don't know.
You don't even have any tips.
Yeah. We're going to be cuffed in 2026. Oh my God, can you imagine if we were cuffed at the same time?
That's going to happen in 2029.
Oh my God.
And I don't even know what to do with that. Like, I don't even want to get into that. I don't even know how that would work. I don't know how to be in a relationship. I don't know how to. I'm still trying to figure out my own stuff. Still at my old grown age, and I think that everybody's crazy, and I just don't know how to fit somebody in my life. You said you can't have anybody in the bed with you.
I can't.
Um,
I'm gonna
and
go
I
to
was
a
thinking,
sex therapist. I'm going to a sex therapist.
okay, I think I should do that too. I think I have an unhealthy relationship with it.
I do. I think I have a lot of issues. I don't know how they're gonna
I'm
resolve
airing my
though.
dirty laundry. But okay, but what do they say to you about it? I don't know. A sex therapist. What do they say?
I'll tell you when I go. I'm going to one tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm just
okay.
kidding. No, I'm
Oh,
serious. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say. Oh, okay.
No, I'm
Well, good for
serious.
you. Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
are you?
No, I'm
Okay,
serious.
I think he's serious for real.
I am. I'm going to a sex therapist tomorrow. 9 a.m. sharp.
Okay, very good. Well, let me know how it works.
I
Um,
will. Yeah.
I just don't know what the conversation is going to be like or how that would be, and I think that I'm uncomfortable. Um, I asked my actual therapist about Steamworks one time, and he got all of his panties in a bunch. Do you remember that era of life when
I
we were talking about
do.
that?
And we never went to Steamworks. This is the problem with us. We didn't go to Steamworks. We should have went.
I don't even want to.
I just think that everybody, I don't know, like, I just want to be normal how everybody else is normal, and I'm not. And
we let our minds get into. We just that's what it
but,
is. Like we need to.
but if your mind is telling you something, and then you push it down and say, no, that's not true, then you experience the thing that your mind was telling you, and then that happens 30 more times.
Yeah.
It's kind
It
of
does.
like, how are you not supposed to listen to it?
Well, there's a reason why your mind came up to that conclusion in the first place.
Exactly. So now I just feel like you're going to be listening to it. And how do you now get out of that point? And then one of the other tips that were always in the thing was always don't be with somebody who's insecure, who's unsure of themselves in the relationship, who's this, who's that. And I was just thinking, oh God, like I just am going to be doing, like, even if we do get to the point, like say 2026 come, it's New Year, we have a New Year's kiss, it comes, I'm going to be crazy, and I just don't know how I'm not going to not be crazy. Like,
I think we're interested telling them all of our. Wait till after your sex therapy session, and maybe we can have a conversation on here about it. He said after he has his New Year's kiss, he's gonna be falling deep in love, and he's gonna be taken advantage of and manipulated.
I am, and I'm going to be going, and they're going to be going. Sorry, I was going to break the fourth wall again, but I was going to say they're going to be saying, I actually want to sleep with this person. I'm going to have to say, yeah. Okay, what's going on with open relationships?
That's so tea that you say that because I did something with this guy in Ohio. He's not to put his stuff on blast, but he lives in Boston. And I guess his family lives here, so sometimes he comes and visits every once in a while. And I just like met up with him in March or whatever, and then come to find out last night he messaged me a couple days ago, and then he was like, "Oh, hey, you know, how are you doing? Blah 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 blah. I'm moving." And I was like, "Oh, where are you moving to?" He's just moving to another place in Boston. I was like, "Why'd you move?" He's like, "Oh, I'm moving in with my boyfriend."
Oh,
And I said, "Oh," and he was like, "Yeah," and he hasn't responded to my next message yet, which was yesterday. So he's like kind of avoiding it. I feel like I said, "Oh, I didn't know you had a boyfriend. Like, what is that? Are you guys in an open relationship?" Or he didn't tell me that when we met up, because we met up
interesting.
in March. So I didn't know what that meant, and so then I'm thinking like, oh, well, maybe that's just a comment. That's just maybe that's their agreement or whatever. But I have never been like someone who is interested in that. Are you interested in that?
But I
Being in
think
an open
this is
relationship?
because of our lack of anything. I think that I would be interested in that maybe one if I knew that I didn't get on Grindr and then like I have like 1,000 things of me going hi, and then
Right.
but if it was like, oh, I could just very easily do this and find somebody, and then like I know that I can get the same amount as my partner. I know that my partner isn't going to find somebody that's so much more attractive than me that I'll have to worry.
I see.
There's just too much that comes with that. I just don't think that we're secure enough to want that. But some people are secure enough and it works for them. But I don't think that would work for me in my current era of life at all whatsoever.
Yeah. I think that in theory, I maybe would be okay with, I don't know. Actually, I can't even say that. But the point is, I'm not like, I think I would have to think about it. But I do think that down the road, I would become insecure. And I just think that that's just the way that kind of like I have felt in my mind based off of my experiences. And again, if I opened up any app and I was getting high constantly, then maybe I would feel more confident in being like, okay, well, obviously somebody's, checking for me. But I think that when you are a little bit insecure, you can't have an open relationship because then you're like always constantly thinking it in your head and this, and that. And I think I am too much in my head. I think that one day I won't be. I think one day I will feel confident in myself and what I look like and whatever. I'm working on it right now. And where I feel like I'm an asset to the relationship, then they can do whatever they want to, maybe, and then I'll be fine. But right now I don't feel that way.
Me either. And especially like, I don't know, that's just so much. And then I also don't see the point, like, why can't, what is it about me that you aren't fulfilled? I would need to know every single thing as to why you wanted to start something else. Unless if it was the only way that I could. What?
Wait, so you're saying you're going from a monogamous relationship and they're asking you to make it open?
I don't think people start with open relationships. I think you start monogamous.
No, I can't do that. Okay. I cannot start monogamous and go to open because then I am thinking like you're thinking, going, what's wrong with me?
Well, that's how I think that it happens, is that they start monogamous and then it goes open.
No, that's
you don't start a relationship being like, I'm open.
I just assume that you'd be like, okay, we're like with each other, but we are like basically friends with benefits, but we're serious friends with benefits.
No, that's friends with benefits. A relationship is a relationship.
Okay, well, I can't do monogamous to open. I'm so sorry.
Unless the only way I could do it is if it was like, I'm usually I'm this position, but I changed because of you, and now I want to experience this. You know what? Fine.
I see what you're saying.
But if you let anybody in your crevices, I can't do it.
Yeah, because it's like, then you are, of course, I'm thinking there's something wrong with me.
Exactly. Because but then what if they lied and I found out they were letting everyone in their crevice? I'd be pissed.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about being in an open relationship or a closed one.
And why? I just don't understand why.
I don't either. And I think that it's going to take being in one to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And that's where... And I don't like how we feel so old and we're not.
I think some of the... No, I don't think that we're old. But I'm saying I think some of the experience is because of the lack of experience that makes us feel like everybody else had these things at 16 and 15 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and 23.
They did.
Okay?
Yeah, they did.
And they had all those things, and now you're 24 and you haven't had any of those things.
Right.
So now you're going, oh my God, everybody's 10 years... has a 10 years level of experience. I am at entry level. I'm looking crazy. I'm feeling crazy.
Right.
How am I supposed to be able to keep up? How am I supposed to be able to do this?
Also, and I know we've been feeling like this for a long time, but I, for some reason, like this past year, I feel like I got to kick it into gear. Everything I need to get done needs to get done. I need to be in a different tax bracket. My body needs to be sitting right and sitting tight. I need to have the best mental capacity that I've ever been in my life. I need to go on 18 dates by the end of the year because I just feel like now I'm about to be 25 in December. And that number is really scary.
Oh my God, I forgot you turned 25 this year.
This year. And 3 days later, you'll be 25.
No. 3 years later, I'll be 25.
4 and 2 months later, you'll be 25.
3 years later, I'll be 25.
But like we're now we're mid 20s. No longer
it is crazy.
23. We're already going to be 25 within a year. Both you and me, in less than a year, we'll be 25. So that's crazy to think. And then it's like really I do feel really behind. And I think that our generation feels behind in a lot of things. Not obviously we have our own specific situation, but I think that our generation feels behind in like almost everything because back when our parents' generation and their parents' generation, when they were 25, they were, not really seeing other people besides the people they knew that were 25 doing things, right? And it's the fact of the matter is we're constantly being shown people our age doing this and that and whatever. And it may
And
be a small percentage of
everything.
25-year-olds, but we're obviously always comparing ourselves saying, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Why am I not a millionaire already at 25? I need to have this car and this house and this. I need to have this degree and this, that, and this, that. I need to have, be this far along mentally, this far along financially, this far along in my relationship. And it's like so much because you're constantly comparing yourself. And that's why I feel like we're behind. So I need somebody to help me.
I don't know how they're going to help you, but I need God to know that I'm in need of help right now. Actually.
Right about now.
Right about now. Because I just don't, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell me. I don't, and the fact that we can't even see a timeline where we're both cuffed is a little crazy.
Okay, but like 25 is going to turn into 30 very quickly. That's scary.
Oh, 25 turning into 30. You know what tweet haunts me to this?
20 turned into 25 so fast.
No. I feel like I can't even remember what I was doing at 20. I never was 20. I went from 19 to 21. What? 20 sounds crazy.
We went through a global pandemic. That's what happened when we were 20.
It probably did. Oh my God, it probably happened right when I turned 20, actually.
Time was weird at that point because we were like, everyone was like, what the hell's going on in 2020?
Yeah.
And, we were 19 in 2020. So it was when in 2021 we were 20.
2021.
What?
That's fake.
Yeah. I was 20 in 2021, and you were
19
in the first 2 days.
I was 19.
And then you turned 20 in 2021. But yeah, I think that's all crazy, and I don't know. I can't see what I look like in the next year, but it's better be something. I wish I could go get a crystal ball.
But I don't know, because did you not think that last year and the year before that?
But honestly, I think that I don't give myself enough credit for how far I've come. I do think that I'm a different person. I think I'm a better person than I was a year or even two ago. I think that I am mentally in a better place. I think I'm physically in a better place. I think I'm emotionally in a better place. I think all those things. But I think that it's really hard to compare yourself. You may not be where you would want it to be, but I think that there is progress, if that makes sense. And I think I have made progress 100% since post-college, like since I've gotten out of college. There's a lot of downs. Yeah, but I think that there are a lot of ups that have been a lot of things that I've achieved in accomplishments. None of them are finished though. None of my goals are finished. Okay. But I think that we have to give ourselves pats on the back for what we have accomplished, not what we want, where we want to be. You don't think that you've made strides in any kind of goals you've had ever in the past couple years?
I think I have, but it's like, okay, a drop in the bucket.
See, that you feel like they're a drop in the bucket because it's not all that you dreamed of and more. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't, accept the wins. But
at the end of the day, I won the battle, but I'm losing the war. I'm losing the war.
Right, you might have had 2 battles you won, but we got to celebrate those battles, okay?
Oh, my God. I don't know,
what to tell you.
I don't know, you guys. Find me Darius, a man, is lastly, and he better look like his pictures, and his pictures better look good.
Right, that's all we asked for. But honestly, also another thing I'm thinking about is location. Like, I got to go to New York. Like, I'm going to be there very soon. And I think that a lot of our issue, if we're talking about like relationship-wise or whatever, like...
Okay, but what if we go into a bigger pool and there's a lot bigger fish?
There are going to be bigger fish. But
that's why I don't want to go anywhere until I'm a big fish.
I know. And that's why we got to work on being a big fish in a small town. A really big fish, though. And a really big fish. And then when we get to a bigger town, we'll be a medium-sized fish in the town.
Maybe medium. Small to medium.
Yeah, we won't be big at the big town.
Yeah.
But my thing is that that's why we got to work on being a big fish now. Being the biggest fish you can be. So that when somebody catches you in the big town, they're okay with their catch.
Okay.
And so I'm saying, but also, I'm not staying in Ohio. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
But my thing is I just think, first of all, I don't like any of what's going on. But then my thing is also, I'd rather not like anything of what's going on, but building up to I can be that medium fish and making sure that I don't turn into a small in the big city. Like, I just can't.
Oh, like revert?
Yeah, like I don't want, like I want to go into the next chapter of my life completely prepared, completely
Right.
feeling myself, completely feeling okay. Mentally, I'm fine and everything. So then I can thrive there and say that it was just location. But then when you realize and you move somewhere and you're still feeling fucking crazy and you're still getting treated like you're crazy, you're gonna
Right.
want to jump off the
And
empire.
you're gonna want to go back to being a small fish. It's gonna help you.
Exactly. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know. I'm trying to make I don't know, because I don't like
That's why
this limbo that we're in now, but I also don't want to go and then end up being back in a further limbo.
Right. And that's why we really have to make sure that we are putting ourselves in the best position possible before we get to any place where they can make you a small fish again.
Yeah.
Because it definitely can happen.
Well.
Anyways, this was a therapy session.
Apparently so.
They're going, okay, so what was that? We really don't care. They're going, this is the weirdest episode we've ever had, and it was very short. And we're talking about sex therapy.
It was vulnerable.
It was a vulnerable episode. I already know what we're going to title it.
Oh.
Mwah. It's something about you.
No.
Anyways,
I'm sick.
But okay, we're gonna end the video off here. I hope you guys remember to send your emails for next week's episode, and leave a review, and also comment, like, and subscribe, and do all of those things. Yeah, I hope you guys have a nice July. And I ain't got nothing else to say to them. What else you got to say to them? Find Malik and I. Two different ones, by the way.
What about my iPad?
What?
What'd you say?
I said find Malik and I a man, and then I said two different ones, by the way.
Yeah, two different ones, for real.
We're not going in a throuple.
I can't do a throup. Oh my god. Imagine, let's do a throuple era. Let's title the video, we're in our throuple era. We got into a throuple.
They'll click on that one.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh my gosh, who is it?
All for this little last two seconds.
It's Tyler Perry.
Oh, that man did a lot, actually, I think. And he just wanted to out him. No, the white man did a lot and just wanted to out him. 100%. Because they didn't even do anything crazy. And those messages were boring. I say crazier things to you. Those messages,
but they were but being Tyler Perry, those messages were crazy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just wanted to out him. But if we already, it was already
I'm saying he should.
If it was already confirmed that he was gay, those messages wouldn't be crazy. And that's the only thing that. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call.
Oh yeah, what's going on? Wait,
I was getting a call.
Oh. Anyways, those messages were definitely. I'm saying either way. Maybe the guy shouldn't have did what he did or whatever. I don't know, but I think that Tyler was definitely being weird with him. Sorry. And there's no excuse when you're Tyler Perry. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
I think he just wanted to out him at the end of the day. That's it.
Okay, well, maybe he has a little bit of the fault, but Tyler Perry still should have. That was weird.
Oh my god! All that man said was, "I need to nut."
Yeah. No, but then he was sending him pictures going, "You don't see this big piece of hunk."
Okay.
In this picture. That's so weird.
They thought that was his friend.
No. He was definitely trying to be predatory, and I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't. He
predatory to that grown white man? I don't know.
Yes.
I think that he was being gay, but I think that was it. And I think that the man just wanted to out him. I don't think that he was being predatory.
Poor Tyler Perry and everybody.
For real.
Okay, but why did anybody I mean, I guess let's believe straight men when they say they're straight.
Okay, Tyler Perry's straight, but that man just wanted to out him. Truly. And
no. Is he straight?
Yeah.
After the messages I saw, I don't really know.
That's what I'm saying. That man just wanted to out him. But you're saying believe straight men when they say just to probably out of spite, because he probably is off the Oval or whatever show that Tyler had him on. He probably cut him off, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to out you, and I'm going to take $260 million."
He's off the residence. Like, I really don't care. Whatever. Anyways, he did try to pitch his show to Amazon. He said, "I'll think about it." I'm gonna ask.
Okay, sorry, very quickly. Ever since we talked about the shit with the robocalls and the scammers, I'm getting called by everybody, and you did something crazy.
Well,
No.
apparently my check went through, and they started
starting to forward them to me because I just swear I never was getting any calls, and I was like, that's not even a problem anymore. And now I'm getting a call, and I've gotten 2 in the time that we filmed.
Well, you put your thing in something.
No,
I'm telling
you. I didn't.
And they stole your data. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, right. You guys.
We're done. Yeah, find us a man. That's it. More of the story.
Now you know the joke is on us. And why it's called this. Like and comment and subscribe and review and send your emails and have a good day.
Have a good day. We'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.